Hey, little rollerblader, are you okay?
Hey! Will you guys stop talking about rollerblading?
Why? Are you afraid you're missing out on something?
Yes?
Rollerblade skating, that's what you were doing. How and where would you guys even get fucking rollerblades? First of all, obviously you stole them.
Welcome to Season 2 of the Blade Rat Podcast. In today's episode, Episode 11, I sit down with my good friend and the graphic designer behind the Blade Rat Podcast, Greg Tuthill. We chat about tips on getting through winter, West Coast Blade events to look forward to, upcoming projects, the Blade Rat Art Contest, and Greg gives a few helpful art tips. We're very thankful for all the supporters and the love out there, the DMs, emails, comments, and especially grateful for our new recording space. But we'll get to that a little later. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters out there, Dustin, Jose, Britta, Zach, Rob, and the guys at Conjure You can support the podcast by visiting www.patreon.com/BladeRatPodcast or visit bladerat.com and click support. For $1 donations, you'll get a shout out in the podcast, and I'll share Haunted Wheelco's VOD Die High through a link in the email. For $3 donations, you'll get a shout out in the podcast, Haunted Wheelco's VOD Die High, Blade Rat stickers, and your choice of 3 handmade crystal pendants. All pledges go towards Blade Rat apparel and podcast equipment upgrades.
In today's episode, I sit down with my good friend and graphic designer behind the Blade Rat Podcast, Greg Tuthill. Hey Greg, how's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for having me on the podcast again. I'm excited to be here and honored to be a part of the first podcast of 2019.
Yeah, what have you been up to lately?
Well, I've been injured, so I haven't really been skating. I've done a little bit of like rec skating, inline skating, but as far as tricks go, I can't really do anything with my left foot. As far as skating goes, I haven't really been able to do much other than roll around and do macchios and torques and stuff with my right foot. So I haven't been doing that as much lately because no matter what, every time I go skating, I end up trying to do something that hurts my ankle, and so I kind of just have to force myself not to do that. But I'm in school and I'm working full time, and so that takes up a lot of time, and it's the winter and it's dark, all the time, and raining all the time here, so there's really not much to do outside anyways.
What are you going to school for?
So I've been doing graphic design kind of as a hobby for a little while now, and I decided that I wanted to go and get some formal training and kind of get the fundamentals down. And I feel like, there's a lot of self-taught designers out there, and I definitely am one of them, but I want to be able to, not miss anything along the way and advance my portfolio into something a lot better than what it is right now by going to school.
Yeah, and you have your own art channel on Instagram, don't you? And
Yes.
That's sort of where you flesh out your ideas. And
so I don't just do graphic design, logos and stuff. I do a lot of just art, I guess. I like pen and ink drawings. I like sketching. And so I post a lot of that on my Instagram. But now that I'm in school, I'm doing a lot more art that isn't getting put on the Instagram. And so it's kind of been a little slow lately. But as I start getting like a little bit more confident in the stuff I'm doing in school, I'll probably update a little more. But yeah, kind of slow. But anyways, my Instagram name is Just Some Art I Made. It's all one word, nothing else.
Nice. That's a cool handle.
Thank you. I was shocked that it was available when I thought of it.
That's very Greg-esque. Do you have any cool projects? I know that you do giveaways here and there.
So I did a lot of giveaways last year, but it's crazy. You can reach out to someone and say, hey, let me spend 8 to 10 hours drawing whatever you want me to draw, and I'll send it to you for free. All you got to do is tell me what to draw, and I'll do it. And I just got people who either would say, oh yeah, hold on, let me think of something, and then they would never get back to me, and that just kind of got a little annoying. So I'm not really doing any more at the moment. I'd love to do more, but taking a break from that for a little while. I have a day job, and I've been picking up some design stuff there, but it's mostly just internal branding and things like that. So usually when I get home, I'm working on homework and not coming up with some new illustration that's gonna go on my Instagram page.
You do sort of a mixture of analog and digital, so do you gravitate towards one part or the other? Do you like part of the process, or do you like the whole thing?
Well, it depends on what I'm trying to accomplish. If I want to just do a pen and ink drawing and I want to do it organically on paper, I'll just do that. If I want to do something digitally, that might go on a shirt or on a website or something like that. I'm happy to use my skills in like Illustrator and Photoshop, but I like doing both because if I get bored of one, I can just go do the other. And then a lot of times you start on paper and then you get to a certain point where it looks like it's done, and then you just drop it into Photoshop and you can really make it look, make an illustration look a lot better. So I'd say that I couldn't really have one without the other. That's for sure.
Getting some good cat sound effects.
Yeah, she purring. A little bit. Probably hear it. Can you hear her? Nice.
All of these records over here, are these yours or your roommates?
These are mine.
Oh, wow.
So when I was in Venice, California, I was visiting in like 2014 or something, and we stayed at this guy's house, and he had like all these records like on every wall of his kitchen, and his kitchen is just fascinating. So I was like staring at the records, and they were all like old and interesting stuff. So I decided I was going to do the same thing, but I don't know anything about records, nor do I have a collection. So I just went to a record store and bought a bunch of $1 records.
Purely looks.
Yeah, there's probably like 100, and I picked I went to multiple record stores, so I picked like a few of my favorites at each one, and then
Which one's your favorite artwork?
I really like this guy just kind of like in the ocean. He's like fully clothed and he's got a cane, I think. He's just like in like kind of looks like a wave just went by, and he's like way steep.
What projects are you working on? Like,
okay.
What's this? What's that? What's going on?
So I have two projects that I like. I'm in the middle of that I haven't really touched as much lately because I've been busy with like school and other things. But so I have this like mushroom drawing that I started like at the end of last year, and I got really into it. And each one, I would sit down for like an hour and a half, maybe longer at a time, and work on it. And then it's about 30% to where I want it to be. But what I'm probably even more excited about is I've been messing with like wood burning. And so I bought this box, and it's got like all my pencils in it. And so just because I've been traveling with like a lot more shit than I normally am, so I needed a box to put it all in. But it's pretty bare. It's just a plain like wooden box, like nothing special. But I want to make it, my own. And so with wood burning, I've been like kind of sketching out some ideas for what I want to burn into it, and kind of at the moment I've settled on this kind of like nature scene, but
and for the listeners, you have like sort of a storyboard.
Yeah,
it's like a 6-panel storyboard.
So it's not necessarily a storyboard, it's more of just like thumbnail sketches. And so my process basically would be like sketch a bunch of little small like thumbnail sketches of like different ideas I have, but a lot of times I'll come up with an idea and love it so much that like I'll draw the first one and be like, okay, I love this one, and then I'll just force myself to come up with more ideas just so I can fill out some thumbnail sketches. In this case, I only made it to 2, and so what I want to do now is to do like 2 more maybe, and just force myself to do it just to get some more ideas going, and then probably I'll stick with this first one I even started with, no matter what. So, but I kind of had this funny idea while I was on my way home from work today that I would like take my woodland scene and then just draw a big scary like monster fucking shit up, because that would be kind of cool. But we'll see where it goes. like transitioned from using like pretty much exclusively mechanical like drafting pencils to like actual pencils, and I'm not sure if I like it yet. So still kind of figuring that out. But yeah, my like drawing instructor, he was like talking about materials to like what materials to get for the class, and he was going over pencils. I'm waiting for him to like talk about like, you know, the difference between drawing using like mechanical pencils and like regular wooden pencils. And he just gets on it, kind of touches the topic, is like basically like if you draw with mechanical pencils, like you don't know what you're doing. I was like, that's not necessarily true, but I'll respect that. At least give it a try. So I was thinking something like waterfall thing like I was doing before.
You're like the Bob Ross of the Portland scene.
Yeah, especially with this type of shit, it's like pretty Bob Rossy. I was Bob Ross for Halloween, so maybe that's like where I got inspired for like doing this stuff. But I also really like drawing like nature and animals and stuff. So, you know.
And you like simple line work and things, right?
Yeah. I like drawing with like Copic, or not Copic, Micron, like Pigma Micron pens a lot. They're just like vary in size from like super fine to like pretty thick, and I usually stick to like the 3s and lower. And I think 3 is like millimeters, so like 3 millimeter or 0.3. Actually, you know, I don't really know, but 0.35 millimeter is the 3, which is like my go-to, and then I'll go down to like what is this? 0.2, I guess, which doesn't seem like much of a difference, but 0.2 millimeters is like pretty damn small. It's like, you know, almost like about as small, as thin as you can get, and still have like the ink show up on the paper. So. And
you typically like to draw things analog and then digitize them and kind of spruce them up, right?
Well, it kind of changes every time, pretty much. So like it all starts on paper, and like just pencil to paper, you know, like the thumbnail sketching, like I was talking about. And then once I get like, you know, the idea, layout, whatever, I'll sketch it better. And so I'll like put a lot more time to like maybe an hour, depending on how complex the sketch is, on paper. And then what I used to do, like only that, like, you know, primarily just never anything. I used to just like ink it on paper and then bring it into Photoshop and then color it. But now I'll switch it up every once in a while, and I'll just sketch it and then I'll draw it on the, like, I have a Wacom tablet, and so I'll just like trace over the scanned sketch on my computer and then draw it digitally, which has a different feel for sure. So that's why I don't do just one or the other. It's like I like to do both.
Have you picked up anything from your classes, like in terms of like game-changing techniques or things that have just been big learning moments for you, or have you like discovered your path a bit more through classes?
Yeah, so like a lot of the classes, you know, we're like practicing perspective, and I guess when you're dealing with perspective and you're like drawing lines to vanishing points, and you're making everything like pretty calculated, you know, it's like becomes like almost mathematical, like how you're drawing. And so, you know, there's like a right way and a wrong way to do it. And so we've been focused on that, and what I realized is like I don't do these, you know, perspective grids and like match it up perfectly, but in my head I'm kind of like thinking along those lines before. So now that I've had some practice with perspective, it's kind of got me more thoughts about like actually making it proportionately correct rather than just what looks correct. And so that's kind of been something that I would like to practice with more. And then another game changer is like I've been doing just pencil and pen. And then like when I draw with pen, I erase away all the pencils. So it's just pen. So it's just like clean and cool looking. But my instructor is just like encouraging us to like mix everything in. So like you draw with pencil, and then I also like don't use an eraser pretty much at all until I've put the pen down and I'm just erasing away the pencil. But he encourages us to like use the eraser throughout the process, keep the pencil in there, put the pen on top, and even like take white paint and like paint out the empty space. And I did that pretty much like, I painted before, but I never actually done that with like my drawing. Just like so many different mixed medias that I did that like for the first time the other night, and it was super fun. So I was like, man, I need to, I was already thinking of like all these drawings I've done in the past where I was like, oh, it would be super cool if I like went back in there with some like white paint or like gesso and just like sharpened it up a little bit.
So being injured during the winter season, do you feel like that gives you, the time off that you need to reflect about your passions and get back into some other things and balance out your life a little bit? Or are you kind of still bummed out on blading? Are you anticipating getting back into it?
It's a little bit of both, because I'll, be walking around Portland, I'll see a good spot, I'll be like, oh man, like think of the tricks to do on this. And then I'll be like, oh wait, yeah, no, I can't do those because that would hurt and just prolong my injury. And so it's kind of like I'm excited and just so antsy to go skating, but bummed because I can't. And I just kind of like, I don't know, it's not fun when you are physically incapable of doing something you really love. So I'm still, I'm bitter about the injury, but I'm still very excited about skating, and I'm just looking toward to the springtime, feeling a little healthier and being able to like get out there and skate without any interference.
The one common denominator about all of us blading in Portland during the springtime is everybody sort of starts unthawing and getting very like excited about skate parks and street. Particularly, I'm very excited about street. I'm constantly building up my skate maps, so that's what I'm doing right now to get through the winter season. Is I have a lot of images from my phone that I'm going through, cool skate spots that I have the cross streets from and the picture of the skate spot, and then I'll log that into Google Maps. And that's pretty much what we use to get spot to spot when you're skating for VXPDX. And I imagine that like other projects, it's just so efficient to have a skate map. It's kind of like critical to do street skating that way.
Yeah, I have so many spots that are just in my head of places I've driven by where I'm like, oh, that school in Northeast, or oh, that bank to fence in downtown. And then I couldn't tell you where it is. So having that map, the one that Brad made for PDX was fantastic, because we knew exactly where we were going and what it looked like.
Yeah, I mean, even if a spot is a bust, you look at skate maps and you say, what are the next 4 closest spots to me? And then you just hand pick them. Yeah. And then there's oftentimes, like, I'll put details of, is this a bust? Does this have caps? Is there security? Like, is the ground rugged? Do you need to bring a board? Like, you log all those details in, and then you come prepared for the spot. And, like, it just makes street skating worth it, Like, I like to go street skating for 3 to 6 hours and get it done. And so it's like handpick a couple of good spots in a region and just hit them all.
One way to pass the time when it's rainy and shitty is when you're going around and looking at spots. I have the spot that I've been driving by for, ever since I moved here, and I've had one trick in mind. And the other day, and I haven't been able to skate it for one reason or the next, but the other day I was looking at it and I was like, oh, hey, this would be a cool trick to try on it. And so like having that time during the winter time to not skate something and kind of like, check the spot off the list maybe gives you more time to think of something more creative or something that might be more fun to do at a spot just by the repetition of seeing it over and over and over again, which is kind of it's a reach, but it's definitely helps out with keeping your mind busy about skating.
Well, and it's interesting because take the same skater and put him in a different decade or a different era, they're going to look at a spot completely different. And, just having those fresh eyes, if I feel like tricks have evolved in such a way over the last 5 years that like now we can look at all the spots in all sorts of different ways and with fresh eyes, It's kind of cool. I've been trying to get other rollerbladers back into blading as we will, And my friend Drew Steenberg used to skate with me way back in the day. He now lives in the Detroit area. I'm trying to get him back into blading, and like he still has the eyes for it, And I'll constantly send him like really, really dope, stylish skaters. And like I sent him a clip of like Colin Martin. He's like, wow, he looks like Dustin Latimer. His style looks like And so I try to get other people hyped that have the potential to get back into blading too, because I want to see more people out there, and there's no better time to get back into it. Some people, they lose a passion for it and just get some wheels and get back out there. Like I see so many people with sort of a hole left in their heart of what they used to like about blading, and I can't fill that void. So it's like there's still communities out there, and Instagram, podcasts, like all those mediums are very good to connect with people. I even had a skater go and connect with me through the Blader contact form, and he was moving from San Francisco Bay Area, saying, moving to Portland, I don't know any bladers, can you point me in the right direction? I said, yeah, we got a Wednesday night skate, hit up Cody Clark, here's his Instagram channel, go to Sessions 503 on Facebook. And so I was like, wow, that's really cool, Blader, we are actually trying to get people back into blading.
No, that's awesome. That guy reaching out, that's such a cool story. It's like, you think about this podcast and the Blade Rat, collective. It's pretty, it's a pretty small thing. It's like, just having one person say something, like respond to it, I think is really special on its own. And so hearing that story is great. And, I would love to just like get as many of those as possible. So it's like, it's kind of my thought process.
Yeah, absolutely.
About this project.
Like if you want to contribute if you want to see anything come out of the Portland blade scene, like hit us up on Instagram or through the website or through the podcast.
Right.
Like, you know where we'll be. Find us on Instagram.
Yes. Send me a direct message. I'll give you my cell phone number. You can come over for dinner tonight and we can talk about it.
Yeah, and so, relating back to what did I do to get through the winter? Well, unfortunately, Blader for the past, 4 months, I've been kind of taking a break. There's been a lot of different changes in my life. I've moved from 2 different houses, and it's just been really busy for work. With that move comes... Well, my house is usually my studio for recording the podcast, so in the middle of a move doesn't really make for a good recording session. So I ended up moving my podcast here to the Flowerpot office. I work for a small creative agency called Flowerpot Media. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, all the channels. We are at Flowerpot Media on Instagram. And also we're powered by rollerbladers. Me and Zach Gideon put together most of the content that you'll see on those channels, always doing cool photography, video, design work, you name it. But we are very, very rollerblade friendly. We are now housing the Blade Rat podcast from here, which is really awesome because now we have a space that's we can collect our thoughts, kind of plan things out, record here, and there's also a really great backdrop. So I'll be able to shoot portraits of the guests coming through. So yeah, just really excited about 2019.
I will say that having visited this studio for the first time, it looks super legit and definitely an upgrade from Brad's dining room table. So I think just with the quality of the studio now, I can imagine the quality of the podcast will just follow suit.
I think we'll miss Bart stomping around on our podcast table.
Oh, yeah, I do miss Bart, right? I wish he was here.
Yeah, we'll bring him on the podcast soon.
Good.
So let's talk a little bit about all the different events and the things that are going on in 2019. So what are some things that people can look forward to in 2019 globally or locally here in Portland, Oregon?
I would say there's a lot of things. First of all, the end of winter time. In Portland, we mentioned it before, it's dark and rainy until about July, or not July, but it kind of feels like that sometimes, but till about April when it starts to get about 50-50. And then the weather's great. So looking forward to good skating weather. Looking forward to skating from, potentially from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. without needing lights. That's always great. So use these first months to kind of get in shape for those long and exhausting blade sessions. In terms of out here, I think my favorite thing to look forward to this year is the Northwest Shred Tour. It's supposed to be in Oregon this year, so we won't have to drive, 11 hours in any direction to get to the first camp spot. So it's good for us, but for those of you who live in Seattle and San Francisco and Los Angeles and Colorado, can't wait to see you guys make the trip out here. Should be amazing.
Great skate parks, great camping, great scenery, probably hot springs.
Oh, definitely hot springs. I don't have any involvement with the organization, but it's guaranteed to be really fun and just good times with good skaters, and that's pretty. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's in the neighboring states, not too far away, is the Colorado road trip. I really want to attend that this year. I'm hoping I can take some time off of work to do that. It's supposed to be a really beautiful trip. Great camping, great scenery, great skating. So.
Yeah, I've never been, but I'm jealous every time I have to watch the videos from those trips.
I've skated Colorado skate parks once. I flew out there for like 5 days to skate some skate parks, and they make some really, really nice parks. Great smooth cement. Like everything, all their coping is amazing. And yeah, it's just, it's unique. Like it's nothing like skating a different skate park with a different mountain in the background.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
I think maybe like 10, 15 years ago, Pacific Northwest was probably the mecca for outdoor skate parks. I'd say now, without a doubt, Colorado is the place to go for outdoor skate parks. Every single small little mountain town has some sort of sick skate park designed by someone who really knows what they're doing. And then Denver itself, I can't tell you exactly how many are within 30 minutes of downtown Denver, but I would say at least 15 that are just great parks. I couldn't even tell you which one's my favorite because they're all good. I used to live in Boulder, Colorado, but anyways, that I would really like to go to Colorado road trip, but for some reason it always falls on a weekend where I just can't make it. And depending on when it's scheduled this year, hopefully I can try and make it out to that one.
Yeah, and we also have our local event, the Donate and Skate. I'm not sure where will it be hosted this year in Portland. Do we know?
I don't know at all. Last year, our Donate and Skate was kind of more closer to fall than it was in the summertime. Mm-hmm. So I imagine maybe they're still figuring it out, or if they might even do one instead in Seattle or something, or maybe back down in Eugene. It doesn't matter as long as it's happening. I'm gonna go because that's always super fun. And if you make it out, you can be sure that I will be manning the grill because.
Greg's Dusty Dogs.
I bring the Dusty Dogs, and they never disappoint.
And this year, also, we're trying to do a new event. Eric Thompson's trying to put together a new event this year called the 420 Blade Comp. Or what's it going to be called?
I think it... I totally, sketched out a poster for this thing, 2 months ago. and it has the name on the poster, but I don't remember what it was. It was specifically, but it's...
Oh, man, we were just blowing the details
It's
here.
a bowl contest, and I would go, if I had to guess, it would be called the 420 Bowl Contest. But initially it wasn't supposed to be on 420, but we've been talking about it recently, and I think we're going to shoot for 420. 420 is on a Saturday this year. I don't know if that's ever happened. I don't remember last time that happened, but because I feel like it's always in the middle of the week when you have stuff to do. But I guess we don't want to go into too much detail because things could very well change. So we're just going to stick with, there's going to be a bowl contest this year, and Blade Rat is going to host it.
I think there's going to be a lot of really cool, just a good time, good vibes, cool prize packs given away, and, just organized by all of us, all the homies here at Blade Rat. Some other big events going on this year. Winter Clash is coming up just around the corner. That's going to be a huge event. There's so many good top-level pros. I cannot even imagine how it's going to shake out this year.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Every time I see a new post of like Winter Clash saying so-and-so, welcome to Winter Clash to 2019, I get a little bit more excited. Like, I think I saw Danny Beers, and I was like, what? No way. He's going to be there. I'd love to see what kind of stuff he can come up with at that park. Seeing Sean Kelso, I don't know when the last time he went was, but that was super cool to see. Of course, Alex Broskow, he's going to be there. And just seeing those names keep coming up, it's just like, oh man, I can't wait to see what happens out there. We have a couple of friends who are going to make the trip to be there for Winter Clash. So can't wait to hear the stories they have when they get back.
Other big Blade events, of course, we have Blading Cup.
Blading Cup, it's pretty far away. I really hope they do something different with Blading Cup, because almost every year people are disappointed with the obstacles in some way or form. Like, the only thing I heard about, that big step up flat box, I was like, oh man, that thing looks crazy. It doesn't look bad, but it looks crazy. It looks like a good stunt, obstacle for a blade competition. But then just hearing about it from some of my friends who went there, they're just like, yeah, that thing was just like a death trap. It's too high, too short, in terms of, length. And it was just, none of the stuff there was really like that fun to skate. And so I'd really like to see them mix it up a little bit and just try and put some fun stuff in there so that we can, the content coming out of the competition is better. Because, I didn't see that much footage from it at all. And, maybe it's just because no one, like, the obstacles were difficult and there was only a few tricks were able to be done.
Yeah. So, well...
Sorry, that was pretty negative.
It's all good. Maybe they'll be listening to this podcast. Maybe they'll be listening to Blade Rats.
I just want to say that
what? Those rats were right.
I think the event is wonderful, and I'm sorry to get negative there for a minute. And I'd love to go. I mean, it's not very far.
I want to go and skate. I think it'd be really fun.
I want to go and skate and see how tough these obstacles are. And but what's super sick is that what's his name? Philip Moore. He won.
Oh yeah.
Man, that guy's awesome.
Fellow podcaster, shout out Philip Moore.
Yeah, Philip Moore.
Super sick.
Yeah, much love from Blade Rat over here. That was like, your skating's been just wonderful.
Yeah. I think it was really refreshing to see like somebody that does non-traditional tricks, like, and win something. Like,
yeah,
just seeing new, fresh skaters win comps. I think that's always really cool and exciting.
Yeah, it's great. It's like every once in a while, I'll just keep seeing, the names of pros who have been winning contests for like 15 years. And I'll just be like, when's the next person going to come through and just take over? And seeing new names, I'm like, oh, maybe this person, maybe that person. And it fills me with joy knowing that we're progressing as a sport.
Yeah, so beyond just events, we are excited for many other things at Blade Rat, including some of the projects that we've been working on and some things that we're excited to reveal to the world this year. Some of those projects include, accessories and clothing that we're creating. This last year in the fall, I created some limited edition Blade Rat wire-wrapped pendants. So these are necklaces. They're one of a kind, laser engraved.
These things are really cool in person. They're like, it's like everything is so perfect on the wood, and it feels real sturdy. And then I don't know, it's just good design.
Yeah. So I worked with a guy that, he specializes in creating much larger scale projects than this, but he really advised me on how to make it strong enough so then, you shouldn't be able to break or crumble this thing. And, and then I just did the rest of it, like the necklace and the wire wrap and the crystal. And to me, it's really hard to find cool necklaces and cool men's accessories, whether it be necklaces or bracelets or something. So I wanted to create something that would be cool blading wise I could put back out to the world. Kind of like I miss the days back when Senate or 616 had accessories, true blading accessories. So what I'm trying to do is just do limited edition thing where if you like this or you like the idea of this, support, because this allows me to create more of this and let me know what kind of products do you want out there in terms of accessories, because I really like the idea of bringing fashion back into blading in some sort of regards with clothing, with accessories.
And I'm totally on board with that. For the longest time, I just was not into men's accessories or jewelry, and then over the past few years, I've been paying more attention. I'm and it's not a Be Unique chain. It's something that you can wear if you're not trying to be flashy, and I think that's pretty cool, and we need more variety and unique gear in rollerblading, so it's cool to see, and you guys should definitely buy one.
And something new that we're trying to bring to the horizon is Blade Rat beanies. So a little project we have in the works. They should be done in probably a month or two. So assuming that, the timeline's on track and that the product turns out well, those will be available. You'll also see all the Blade Rat homies repping that stuff. We're going to be excited about that. It's going to be the Blade Rat logo and not with the text around it. It's just going to be the rat, but it looks really cool on just a plain beanie. Available in light gray, dark gray, and olive. So those are going to be dope. You're definitely going to want to pick one of those up. And Greg, you've been working on a new design.
Yeah, so I was bored. So I was kind of just looking for a little thing to work on. I wanted to do some art. And so we have the Blade Rat logo, which is awesome. But I just wanted to give maybe another take on the logo, or just put an illustration out there. Honestly, this was just for fun. I didn't even tell Brad about this. I was just kind of dicking around at home at my art table, and I drew a rat trying to look a little more realistic, and then I kind of added some features, and so I was like, hey, what, this looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll send this into the sticker printer. And so I sent it in, and I wasn't going to tell Brad about it until I actually had the stickers in hand, but I couldn't help myself, and so I showed him the illustration, and he seemed to like it. But I don't have the stickers yet. Actually, I should say, by the time you hear this, I will have the stickers.
Awesome. And I think we're going to be doing, we'll get to this in a little while, but we're going to be doing a bit of a giveaway, and we hope to give away some, stickers, the brand new stickers, some of the old stickers, some beanies, necklace. So I think we're going to be giving away some really cool prize packs this year.
If you're into the logo and the look of the, the brand and stuff, then you're gonna want to participate in these.
Yeah. So the details on the Blade Rat contest. We're thinking about doing a art contest via Instagram where people can submit Blade Rat themed art. Please no harming of rats in the process. And, you know, this artwork can be photography, video, design, music,
dance. I don't know.
Sculpture.
weaving, you know, we will accept any Blade Rat artwork. So basically, you know, it's going to be Blade Rat themed. So if you need more time to create, you know, your art creations, please start now. We're going to be doing a Blade Rat themed contest, and we'll be releasing the details in the near future. But that's going to be really cool. I think we're going to come out with some really cool artwork that we're excited to share with the world, and also give away, again, our really awesome prize packs.
Definitely participate in the art contest because I really want to see Blade Rat stuff. I have fun just trying to kind of put those two words together and think about imaging. So definitely participate in the art contest because, you know, I have so much fun like trying to think of concepts for those two words together, blade and rat, and what they can mean in terms of visualization. Who knows, if we really like something, it might influence, you know, new products or something.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool. Regardless, like, it's just going to be fun. It's going to be cool to see what kind of Blade Rat inspired artwork's out there.
Yeah.
You know?
And if you want to spend a lot of time on it, great. If you want to do something that takes 2 minutes, even better. You know, we want a lot of people to participate. Just, you know, spread the word about Blade Rat, and you know, just we like looking at art, so show us.
There's a lot of different Blade Rat projects we're excited for this year, but in particular, I think we're working on a little video project.
Yeah, so we may or may not be making a video project that may or may not be super awesome, and may or may not be filmed in the summer, and may or may not have some really sick skaters in it. I forgot. I was
Dang.
Teasing them.
It's gonna be the best video of the year, hands down.
Wow, that's your prediction?
Yes. Well, yes. It's gonna. What were we saying earlier? It's gonna be the chillest video of the year. May not be the best, but it'll be real chill.
Yeah.
So if you like chill stuff, then keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for the Blade Rat video. And it's going to have a great soundtrack because we have excellent taste in music. And it's going to be filmed in Portland for the most part. And it's going to be filmed on SD cameras because there's an abundance of those in Portland at the moment.
Right before recording this podcast, we were kind of rallying our thoughts together, and we ended up FaceTiming with Eric Thompson to kind of talk a little bit about Blade Rat, what it means to us, and just get our heads wrapped around what Blade Rat is to us in 2019. When Blade Rat started, it was just a podcast platform, a way for me to, you know, create this soundscape where I could interview people and we could share different stories. You know, associated with that was artwork, and through that became, you know, some accessories and some other things that we could create. But much bigger than that, you know, I've been through the last 4 months having some time to sit back and think about what Blade Rat actually is. Blade Rat, it's not just a podcast and it's not clothing, but it's more of a rollerblading collective. What I mean by that is that we are all just, the common denominator is that we're all rollerbladers and that we all bring something unique to the table, and that we're all moving forward in the same particular pattern to achieve what we're trying to do as Blade Rats. You know, like Greg, you're specializing in you know, graphic design, and I do branding and video, and Eric Thompson wants to host events, and we're going to bring some other people into the picture of Blade Rat. And we just want to really have a strong team of people that are not only rollerbladers, not only good at skating to some degree, or, you know, have unique skating, but most importantly have something to contribute to the collective of Blade Rat. So, you know, Blade Rat to us, we talked a little bit about that, and, you know, our goal is to promote rollerblading, to bring people together, to host cool events, to really just kind of put our own spin back into the culture of blading, and particularly, you know, the Pacific Northwest, Portland, Oregon, and the surrounding communities.
I would say going off that as a collective, it's not just like we have this. I would say we have like our core group that kind of generates ideas and comes up with what we want to do going forward. But members of this collective, there's no like set group. If you want to be involved with Blade Rat, just say so, and that's it. You're part of the team. Like anyone can be helpful and participate in this. It's really not a exclusive thing. So that's kind of how I interpret what Brad wants to do with the brand, and it's really just about rollerblading and getting people to rollerblade and maybe getting new people to rollerblade and all that. And so that's the goal, and there's no other goal than that. Pretty much.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like bring a couple cool people together to create a cool and unique brand that's in support of something bigger than just the brand or the artwork or the clothing. Like, yeah, that's our platform, and that's that's a marking of us. But bigger than this, I would love to see more people wanting to be in that Blade Rat mindset to help coordinate events or bounce ideas off of each other. Or, hey, I want to participate by being a designer or being a photographer or doing that. So it's sort of like, hey, let's all come together and be Blade Rats together.
Right. I think that's a great way to put it.
Blade Rat, as we grow into this collective, as we grow the community, I think we want to hear your thoughts. It's been great to have people drop me a line through Instagram, through the contact form on the website. All the individual people on Blade Rat too, feel free to DM them and become buddies with them. Let's interact together and kind of see, what do you guys want to see in the world of blading? What do you want to see more with Blade Rat?
Yeah. We're all really nice people, and we'll answer you for sure, especially Eric Thompson. He'll answer you and, fall in love with you. And you'll be like...
And read your horoscope.
Yeah, and read your horoscope and offer to smoke you out. And so, he's great. We're all... I would say the same thing about all of us, is that we're all just... I would say genuinely nice people. Don't feel free to reach out, even if you're just not even you're not even sure like what we mean by collective or something, or even if you want to tell us you hate us.
Yeah, we want to hear that too.
Yeah, we'd love to hear that. It'd be great. So please message Brad and tell him how much he sucks at podcasting.
Thanks, Greg.